Australian motorsport is mourning the loss of one of its greatest champions. Allan Moffat, a man whose name became a symbol of excellence, discipline, and fierce rivalry, has died at the age of 86 after a long, difficult battle with Alzheimer's disease. His passing marks the end of an era. For decades, he wasn't just part of Australian motorsport, he was Australian motorsport. He shaped the sport's identity, captured the nation's attention, and set standards future generations still struggle to match. Today, as tributes from across the world continue to arrive, many fans are also waiting to learn about his funeral and burial details. We are going to share his last moments and funeral updates. Allan Moffat's rise to legend status began long before Australia realized what kind of star had arrived in the country. Born in Canada, he moved to Australia at 17. At the time, he was simply a teenager exploring a new life. But behind the quiet demeanor and polite manner was a young man with extraordinary fire. People who knew him early on recall how focused he seemed, even before fame touched his life. He walked like someone with a purpose. He spoke like someone who already understood where he was going. And once he stepped into a car, everything made sense. His beginnings in the racing community revealed just how unique he was. He didn't win fans with loud personality or flashy behavior. He won them with pure skill. His driving style was unlike anything Australian spectators had seen. He was calm, almost cold, but deeply intelligent in the way he approached every race. His precision was flawless. His timing was sharp. And his decisions behind the wheel showed a mind that wasn't just reacting to the car. It was predicting what the car would do, what the road would do, and what every competitor would try next. Fans who watched him at Bathurst often describe his racing as something close to art. The way he positioned his car, the way he attacked corners, the way he kept absolute control even at terrifying speeds. Every lap was carefully calculated, every move deliberate. Rivals feared that accuracy. Teammates admired it, and spectators adored him because he delivered performances that made their hearts race every single time. His rivalries were the stuff of legend, especially his battles with Peter Brock. Their clashes weren't just sporting events, they were national conversations. They divided fans, created unforgettable storylines, and elevated the popularity of touring car racing across Australia. Moffat's intensity and Brock's charisma became the perfect contrast, the perfect storm that kept millions glued to their screens for years. Even today, fans still argue over which man was truly the greatest. But what no one disputes is this: without Allan Moffat, the golden era of Australian motorsport would not have existed. The announcement of his death was made by his family, who revealed that he passed away peacefully at 11:05 in the morning, surrounded by those who loved him. The family spoke about his long struggle with Alzheimer's disease, a journey that began with his diagnosis in 2019. For 6 painful years, he faced memory loss, confusion, and fading moments of recognition. But even in his most vulnerable state, Allan Moffat held on with the same resilience he showed in every race. His family described his journey as long, difficult, and deeply courageous. He fought as only a true champion could. His passing has united the motorsport world in shared grief and respect. Allan Moffat wasn't simply a driver who collected trophies. He was a figure who changed the entire structure of Australian motorsport. Engineers study his techniques even today. Drivers still quote him. Teams still operate using systems he helped design. His impact was not temporary, it was foundational. The sport is what it is because of him. His career accomplishments read like a list of impossible achievements. He won Bathurst 4 times, in 1970, 1971, 1973, and 1977. His 1977 1-2 finish with teammate Colin Bond remains one of the most dramatic moments in racing history. He earned 4 Australian touring car championships. He won 6 Sandown endurance races. He collected 32 touring car race victories and countless podiums. Even when he later moved to compete with Mazda, he proved that a great driver is not defined by the machine they operate, but by the passion and precision they bring to it. Supercars CEO James Warburton paid tribute to him, calling him one of the true giants of Australian motorsport. Warburton explained that Moffat's influence reached far beyond racing itself. He changed how teams approached sponsorship, professionalism, and long-term strategy. He introduced structures and philosophies that helped Australian motorsport grow into a respected global force. His impact is impossible to measure, Warburton said. His legacy reaches far beyond the racetrack. Off the track, Allan Moffat was described as a thoughtful, humble, and generous man. He mentored countless young drivers, offering advice, sharing lessons, and guiding them with patience. He believed in discipline, preparation, and respect, values he passed on to everyone who crossed his path. Even Peter Brock, his fiercest competitor, shared a bond with Moffat rooted in admiration. Their rivalry was heated on the track, but off the track they maintained a professional respect that shaped motorsport culture for years. As Alzheimer's progressed, Moffat's memory began to fade, but those who visited him said he still reacted to familiar voices and smiled when he heard stories from his racing days. He enjoyed quiet moments with family and friends, often responding emotionally when someone mentioned Bathurst or one of his famous victories. Toward the end, when communication became difficult, he whispered his final words, "Look after each other." It was a simple message, filled with humanity, one last reminder from a man who had lived a life full of intensity, competition, and love. Right now, many fans are waiting for details about Allan Moffat's funeral and burial. His family has requested privacy, and no official arrangements have been made public yet. We want to state clearly that as soon as the family releases any confirmed details about his funeral, memorial service, or burial location, we will inform you immediately. Whether it is a private ceremony or a public memorial, every update will be shared as soon as it becomes available. Supercars has already announced that Allan Moffat will be honored at the Adelaide Grand Final. This tribute is expected to be deeply emotional, with teams, drivers, and fans gathering to celebrate the life of a man who transformed the sport. It will be more than a ceremony. It will be a reminder that the modern motorsport world stands on the foundation he built. For fans across Australia and beyond, the loss feels personal. Allan Moffat wasn't just a driver. He was the heartbeat of a generation. He was the man behind the wheel of iconic Ford Mustangs and Falcons. He was the strategist who understood racing like a science. He was the competitor who never backed down. He was the champion who made people fall in love with the sound of engines, the thrill of corners, and the magic of motorsport. His legacy is not simply in the trophies he won or the races he dominated. It lives in the people he inspired. It lives in every young racer who dreams of conquering Mount Panorama. It lives in every fan who still replays his legendary battles. It lives in every engineer who studies his racecraft. Allan Moffat gave Australia more than victories. He gave the nation pride. His life teaches us that greatness isn't about how long you live, but how deeply your life touches others. Allan Moffat may have left this world, but his influence remains in every roar of a supercar engine, every Bathurst broadcast, every tribute from fellow racers, and every fan who remembers exactly where they were when he crossed the finish line in glory. Once again, we remind our audience that the moment any funeral or burial details are released by Allan Moffat's family, we will share them immediately. Until then, the motorsport world stands together in unity, honoring the extraordinary legacy of a man whose presence will never fade. Allan Moffat is gone, but his legend will live forever.